Combat Report episode 36 is live. Thank you for joining us here, youtube.com/combatfgc. You already know what it is here at Combat Championship Series. BG, Stu, Smitty, and Tiger Tosser coming at you for this 36th edition of the Combat Report. And we're going to be kicking things off hot and quick with the Capcom Cup. Kakeru dominant in his performance, taking that grand final set 3-1 over a phenom from Chile named Blas. And just absolutely phenomenal performance, really showing what JP was about. But there is someone on our panel did call Kakeru taking it all. And with that, I must cede the floor to BG because he has not stopped talking about this for the past couple of days. BG, the floor is yours. Just let us have it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Like I have
not, and I will not stop talking about it. Please, Mark, let me have my moment. Yes, I did on Combat Report episode 35 predict correctly that Kakeru would win Capcom Cup 11. And yes, thank you to me. And yes, thank you for everybody listening to me. I want to give a shout out to Smitty, Stu, and Mark for their wrong predictions to make me look better. Yes, with his JP, as I said, he would dominate. With I think undefeated in group play, and then of course when he played that kid, he had the energy after supposedly, allegedly getting in an argument with his wife that I think pretty much gave him the strength to go ahead and win Capcom Cup. But all seriousness, he was great. I thought that his play was just phenomenal. Neutral, his range, everything, his command grabs. I mean, he's the best JP. He's the best player in the world. I don't think there's any way that you could say there's anything that he did that was cheap or lame or whatever, because they did nerf JP also. And for him to win the way he did in a dominant fashion, and also being in Japan with the home crowd, I just really thought it was great. The crowd was great. Everything that he did was just phenomenal.
That's it. No, you're absolutely right, BG, and I'll give you your props. You called that completely. Even
Thank
with
you,
the
sir.
JP nerfs, I can't even complain about JP anymore. They did actively nerf the guy to the point where he was not undefeated in group play. Lost that one set 2-1-2 to Keto, but no shame in that. Tiger Tosser, though, I know you have. It really did feel just that dominant that you could have thought he just went undefeated all the way through. And Tiger Tosser, I know you share a similar sentiment.
Yeah, no, I was Kakeru was just going through everybody. He was just like a steamroll, man. And then like the other thing that was like I was kind of surprised about was like seeing like Takedo kind of get like knocked out where he did, because I know he's like
Yeah.
still picking up, But again, that's the thing with Capcom Cup. It's like it's always like someone that either you don't know or, and I feel like this one is like everyone like, well, except for Brian over here. Brian knew the person like pretty on spot, but like everybody was kind of like up in the air about who's gonna win this one, and now Kakeru, winning that, he's like now he's the richest fighting game player now, and
He's the man.
he won Gamers 8, and then he won this one.
Mm.
But I have to say though, like Blas, insane. Is like his Ryu and all the characters he's playing was just super solid. But my favorite match, crap, I forgot the other guy's name. It was like the hold on, it was
What, in Grand?
no, it wasn't Grands. It was like actually like in top 16. It was
Oh,
Takamura
oh,
versus I think it was Roz. Hold on, it was like Roz or something like that. Let me take a look. I probably just butchered the name completely, but it
yeah,
was.
Blas. No, Kakeru and Blas. Yeah, they played in winners quarters.
Oh no, not Kakeru and Blas. It was hold on. I'm sorry. Like I had
Or
it
was
up.
it the Noah match? Was it? I mean, the thing is, he won all those matches up
Yeah,
until
he
grand finals by scores of 3-0. So,
no,
like,
it
you
was
could
Shudo. It
take
was
your
Shudo.
pick.
It was Shudo versus Takamura.
Oh, okay,
That
okay.
that set was insane. That set was like literally like everything was down to the wire, and that like as much as like Blas is like just going ham on everybody, but like this was like, man, this is like my wrestling match. This is like, man, good old fashioned Akuma versus a Can. This is about pure footsies, man. Like this is like really sick, and it's just like it was like just went down to the wire. Like everybody just whenever each chance they got, they just went nuts. But man, the Capcom Cup, my favorite thing about this one was the stage, was the arena they're at.
Oh my gosh.
Did anyone
Yes.
get that feeling?
Yeah,
I was
incredible.
like, everybody going like ham and everything like that. I was like, man, I wish I was over there.
Yeah, no,
Man,
that's the and that was the thing, because that arena, and I did say that I would gush about it last episode. I will do it this time. The Kokugikan, the home of the Japan Sumo Association. I am a massive sumo fan,
hell
and
yeah.
so that is literally just like the mecca of sumo. Actual bucket list item of mine is to see sumo at the Ryogoku, or at the Kokugikan, excuse me, in Ryogoku, the neighborhood in Tokyo. But Smitty, obviously, like, I mean, jealousy from for the destination aside, certainly you had some takeaways about the tournament, even just besides from Kakeru, even though like really the performance speaks for itself. 3-0 and then 3-0 all the way through the winner side of the bracket, and then the 3-1 in grands. Just
So
unbelievable.
for me, I'm very biased because Street Fighter means a lot to me. It's my most favorite game. Street Fighter 2 basically changed my life. Street Fighter 5 really changed my life. So for Capcom Cup, it is to me where I'm from. March Madness is the biggest thing. So for me, it's March Madness, the Super Bowl, and now Capcom Cup. So I watched every single minute of this and rewinding, watching the reviews. The play in this was amazing.
Yeah.
I picked Punk to win. I'm sure Brian's gonna tell you I
Mm,
have a curse,
Ooh.
and
mm,
I picked him to win, and he
mm,
doesn't even
Yeah,
get out of the group,
mm,
and it hurt.
BG.
I was like, man, I got to stop picking people.
mm.
Kakeru's one of my favorite players because I play JP as well as Jamie, and so
Yeah.
watching him win, he was on my radar, but not on my radar. Especially when you look at like Fudu was killing it. He was 5-0 in his group. You
Yes.
know, even Blas, he was 5-0, but I still, I don't know him, so it was like, he's 5-0, cool, but how good is he? And then he makes that run, and then you're like, okay. And one of the things I said is, what do you tell him? He lost, but what do you tell him? He beat Angry Bird. He beat Lashar. He went on a crazy. What do you say to him? What do you gotta get better at? Like the only person to beat him is
Great point.
Kakeru twice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. So what do you tell? He's 15. He's about to be a terror. And it's like I'm interested to see what happens after this. And now we don't have to wait too long because it starts back up in 2 months. So it was amazing. It was an amazing show. It's one of the best. It's one of the best Capcom Cups. To me, my favorite is the IDOM winning. That's my favorite of all time for Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing for me, this is how deep Street Fighter is for me. For me, I would rather win Capcom Cup than Evo. I think I've talked to you about this,
Oh wow.
BG. I would rather be called the Capcom Cup champ
Mm.
than the Evo champ because I'm new to gaming. So Evo doesn't have a prestige to me. What has a
Mm.
prestige to me is 30 years I've been playing Street Fighter.
Mm.
So it's a different feeling. So for me,
Yeah, I can get it.
that Kakeru went in, I was and just his thing about him and his wife getting an argument and he used that as motivation. I
And he
felt
sure
that
did.
I've been married before. So he was like he was
Went
like,
to your song.
I'm gonna prove her wrong. And if you
Oh,
read some of his later tweets, he said they were arguing about should he play Mai or JP like before the tournament, and then
Yeah.
I guess they had another argument later, and he was. You're not going to be the man motivated to prove his wife wrong.
that before hit me like a sack of bricks, man. He really
Yeah.
was Ken. Like he really was Ken at the beginning of the game. It was like she took the kids, man. But
Right.
I mean, you were actually touching on it, Smitty, and that's something I wanted to ask you about, BG, because we saw Blotz's performance and we did touch on it lightly, but yeah. I mean, we thought that Kakeru went undefeated or could have gone undefeated. Obviously, that one loss to Takedo, the one blemish on the record, but Blas did go undefeated throughout the group stage, only running into Kakeru at winners quarterfinal, and then making the run through loser's side to make it back for a shot at revenge. Obviously unsuccessful, but a wildly good mentality for a kid who was just 15 years old. This prodigy
Yeah.
from Chile had laying claim to the best player in South America, and a wonderful, I mean, a credit to that scene all in all. But really does speak to, I mean, between him and Enzo the Hokage making a run, at the Kumite qualifiers earlier on back in February, I do think it speaks to a youth revolution that is primed and ready to go for Street Fighter 6. It really does feel like we're on the precipice.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, Blast and this youth movement is great. Is great for the game. It's great for the scene. Blast's play with Ryu was just mind blowing. He did not jump. He was so good in neutral, patient, just waiting for his opponent to whiff or just press too many buttons. And a lot of people don't understand that takes a certain level of mental discipline and emotional discipline to do that. Like everybody's saying that they're going to play Ryu now. No, you're not. Not at that level. Like the
No.
way he was playing, I've literally never seen played in six.
And
The way
isn't
he was
that
playing.
and is that awesome to see Ryu back in like a grand finals
Yeah, the
like
face
that?
again.
When was the last time we saw like a Ryu main get that far? You know what I mean?
I was just about
I
to
was
say
like,
how important that is that a young kid takes the franchise character. He's the
yeah,
face of
Yeah.
fighting games, and he's
yeah,
in your finals with this young kid. Ryu's in everything. Smash, Fortnite. He is the main character of fighting games. And for him to be in the
yeah.
finals, I thought that was to me one of the bigger moments. Like here, and people would tell you Ryu's not one of the better Shotos. He was terrible in five, and now here he is.
He
Now
was weird in Third Strike too. Like, I mean, Ken was always meta.
mhm.
Like, I mean, Ryu was always a little bit more like higher risk, higher reward.
Yeah.
And that's and for
Oh,
the young
absolutely,
And the young
absolutely.
guys, Salvatore in Group A, I think they said he's
Oh,
only
he's
like
one.
21, and he
Yeah,
beats Punk in a mirror match, which is crazy. Punk doesn't lose mirror matches. And then Noah
he's on
getting
his
out
way.
his group, and then he made top eight. And
Yeah.
he's what, 18, 19?
Yeah,
He's
he's
not.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the young generation, I think they were on a showcase, and then even some of the older guys, such as like Fudu and even Taquito, they put on a show. It was
Yep.
Yeah,
it was an amazing show. I was pretty impressed.
And I have to agree. And it seems like we really are just kind of right there at the ledge of these kids really turning the corner and starting to win tournaments over that older guard. But again, Kakeru just so domineering over that older part, that higher part of the bracket. But Tiger Tosser, I have to say, what we've seen so far from these kids, nothing
Mm.
short of impressive. And you've been around the block a few times. You kind of know that, yeah, this is not exactly this maybe is uncharted territory for Ryu main, but this
Yeah.
is just overall patience and wherewithal within the game because he used every single Shoto
Oh, you
throughout
know.
the bracket. I believe in winners quarters it didn't go Ryu against Kakeru, it went Ken and Akuma, and obviously it was only the Ryu that took the game. But
Mhm.
again, it's maybe you just need those fresh minds to teach you, even like a veteran, new things about how to play this game, and that not every single Street Fighter is the same as the last.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing with with Street Fighter 6 I've seen, especially me going to locals, like Street Fighter 6 is one of my favorite games, but tournament-wise, this is my worst performing game. Worst performing game. And then I've seen nothing but youngsters play this game, and these kids have like a whole different take on these games, rather than myself. And this is like, I mean, I played, I remember when Street Fighter 2 came out, I played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. I remember Marvel vs. Capcom 2 coming out. Street Fighter 4, I remember going to, like, I was in high school. I'd walk down the hallways, and I remember kids talking about that game and stuff like that. And then when I'm seeing, like, Street Fighter 6 and seeing these kids, man, it's awesome. That's really good for this game because it's like I feel like now they kind of found the sauce to get more people in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
mean, we
like
were the younger
absolutely.
kids at the arcade
yeah,
once.
that's the thing. It's always the generation that comes in. I mean, especially like Street Fighter 5 is the same thing, but I feel like Street Fighter 6 is really kind of putting that on the show right now. You know?
No, you're absolutely right, and I remember like because it's I think it was like Maximilian Dude upon them revealing MVC3 or something like that, talking
Mm.
about how he played a very young Cloud 805, and
Yep.
he got
Oh
absolutely
wow.
destroyed by him, and
Yep.
then eventually would go on to become one of the better MVC3 players and one of the better, I think, one of the better MVCI players as well. Never
yeah,
really
no,
left
I
Marvel
think no,
vs.
he won
Capcom.
it. He won it. He won MVCI's like only big tournament.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, look, maybe a small sample size, but a sample nonetheless.
Exactly.
And speaking of sample sizes, fair or unfair, I do think that we need to discuss a moment because this is, I know, leave it to the commentator to bring up commentary discourse, but this is some place where I think we have to go. There was a moment where Jammers caught a little bit of flack for calling an option bad. I think it was Idom going for the dive kick against the Zangief, which I think Jammers was right to call it out, but I mean, even Sajam had a very strong reaction to it. I mean, if we can play the clip.
Listen, I'm sorry. I gotta call it how I see it. That was god awful. That dive kick was not.
All right, you know what else is god awful? His fucking commentary, bro. I can't listen anymore. I can't. I gotta mute him. Sorry. I can't listen anymore, bro. I can't. Like, I can't. I just can't, bro. I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot listen anymore. It's not good. It's just not good. I can't. I gotta mute him.
So that was Sajam's comment, and BG, you definitely had some strong thoughts when it came to this. You were the one who brought this up initially, and I mean, as a commentator, it hurts to see that sort of that's sort of, you know, caster on caster violence. But I don't know. For me, let me get your thoughts on this before I give my take, please.
Yeah, I thought that the take was a little harsh by Sajam, but also it was on his own personal stream, in his opinion. And it kind of, I felt that the takes and a lot of stuff got out of hand. But overall, I just want commentators to understand there's different styles. People have the right to call out certain, things that they don't like as commentators. And we have to understand that there are just different takes and different strokes for different folks. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I view it too. It's like different flavors of ice cream, different flavors of commentary. You know, some people are going to like others more than like the main guy. Some people are just going to like the main guy because that's who they grew up listening to, and anyone else is maybe just a little bit more unpalatable. I'm certain that Jammers is like that for some people, and I'm certain that Jammers is like that for Sajam. But yeah, it's what you say on your personal stream is whatever. But I mean, certainly, you know, those of us who have watched fighting game tournaments, Smitty, Tiger Tosser, I'm sure you have your preferences as well. But I mean, what do you have any sort of insight on this whole thing? Like any opinions? Because I'd honestly love to hear you because you both have experience on the mic, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm terrible on the mic. I did it once and I said, I don't know the moves. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I didn't even catch what Jammer said. It was later when I seen the discourse and I was just like, so I've watched sports my whole life. Sometimes the commentators be like, that's a terrible play call. The coach doesn't call a timeout or they don't use a timeout. The commentators let you know it was a terrible dive kick and that's just what it was. But at the same time, like BG said, Sajam can say whatever he wants on his stream. It's his stream.
Yeah.
It blows up because of who he is and who
That's right.
Jammer is. And so if it's me saying it, no one cares. But Sajam is one of the bigger figures in the community. So it had more weight.
It's not
of
like
him
St.
saying
Cola turned to him and told him to shut the hell up, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's your
St.
personal
Cole
stream.
I was like,
Yeah, I did see. St. Colo
Yeah.
did do that. Yeah, he knew.
yeah.
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 But the thing is, like, I know St. Cola well enough to know is like, I don't know if I would have phrased it that way. Also not wrong. Like, that's what he
Yeah.
was thinking.
So it happens.
And like, honestly though, yeah, that's seeing sports calls, you hear some pretty like harsh criticisms, on every other like commentating, on so like I didn't like I don't know why everyone was kind of mad about it. When I used to play MKX, one of the people that was commentating one of my matches said I got bodied, and like I was like, oh well, okay, that's cool,
I
So
get it. It's
Yeah.
not, because especially because it's such a harsh criticism that maybe it does become unpalatable, and you don't necessarily expect that from something that's so like clean and polished esports esque.
That's
But
true.
that's then again, I feel like that's kind of what separates the FGC. I'm not saying that Jam is wrong to feel this way, because honestly, that's his opinion, and frankly, he's more qualified than I am.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those deals where I can't necessarily say that it's like, I mean, that the FGC is not esport. Like, why are we treating it like it is?
Well, people say it's not esports, but when you're taking money from Red Bull, you're esports.
There's something to
I'm
be said
sorry.
about that.
I'm sorry. I think that there's a resistance towards esports, but also esports does pay the bills. And you can call me a shill. I'm pretty sure this will get clipped up or something, but people have to get paid if you do want things to go to a certain
A
level
local
in
FGC
gaming.
person just like has a reaction
You
video. He's kind of like,
Yeah, they're gonna have me with money guns over my head and all of that. I'm pretty sure. So shout out to the FGC.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't even know about that. Like, it's like you say that people need to get paid. I keep hearing that, and I only really see maybe like dozens of people making a living off of this stuff every year. All in all, the industries, and I'm not even saying this because of the game that I come from, which, for context, was Super Smash Brothers, was my introduction to the realm of fighting games and esports at large. But it feels like we're just kind of jumping from, okay, well, first it was big companies trying to get their in on this, wild west of business and sports business, and then it became crypto guys, and then it became, weird ass NFT stuff, and then it became Saudi Arabia. Like, what is it that it doesn't even feel like we're getting any consistent funding? It just feels like, no, we need all the funding right now to make ourselves relevant, but that's not sustainable. You're just jumping from like, lily pad to lily pad, trying to hop off before the other one sinks. You're actually just jumping on like the platforms in Super Mario World, and you're not finding any stable ground. It's not sustainable. This took a really large departure from where we were intending, but I mean, but that's kind of what it is like for esports at large, and I am kind of worried that the FGC is going down that path.
There is a lot of money being thrown around right now, and I agree with you. It's coming from everywhere, but it's not a consistent fund, you know. So it's not like the NFL is going to be here every season. So right now you got Saudi Arabia. At any point they can be like, we're done. You got the tours.
We're going to be here after they leave.
Yeah, and that's even like the companies. The companies can anytime be like, we don't want to do a world tour anymore. Look at Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't be like, we're gonna do a Smash tour. They're like, here's Smash. That's it. The other companies could one day say, we're just not gonna do this anymore because maybe I don't know how beneficial it is to them. Maybe they make a lot of money. Maybe they don't, unless they release that information. But like you said, it's just jumping from one to the next. So who's next? There's going to be another company after the World Cup people. Then there's going to be another company, and it's going to be a constant thing of a rotating door of people thinking that one day this is going to make them billions, and it may never. Or it could blow up, and it could be like something magical could happen, and it could be sustainable. But right now, it's like it is exactly like you said. It's who's next. Right now, it's the World Cup. But in the beginning, it was tours from each company. Now it's the World Cup, and if what Evo's expanded to three shows or 3 events. What's next after that?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to give my opinion on the Esports World Cup here because I don't want it to speak for the rest of CCS. But it's also not one of the. It really does kind of feel like it's almost the most sustainable thing that you have is those developer tours where you have things like Arc World Tour, you have things like Capcom Cup, obviously Tekken World Tour. You have things that come up through the developers that they want to support it, and that's all well and good because it's part of that. Like, they view it as advertising more than anything else. It's like, here's a bunch of people who are doing things with our game that even our best, like, developers or playtesters could not possibly conceive. and they are the best fighters in the world, and they're going to duke it out, and they're going to do so on our game, and they're going to show the world just how awesome our game really is. And to that extent, I thought Capcom Cup 11 was a phenomenal success.
Amazing.
And that
Yep.
that was even independent of all the bells and whistles, all the bikes that they had wheeled into the concourse of the Kokugigan. The fact that they were in the home of actual sumo itself. Like even independent of that, it feels like you could have had it in any arena Tiger Tosser and it would have been a success. But a lot of that comes from the community, like people like you and I.
Yep. Yeah. Like the whole thing, the reason why fighting games get played, it is not just because of money. Well, people are playing more because of money, and there's more interest in the money. But what's the central driving force is because of people want to play fighting games. Essentially, everybody wants to play fighting games. We all love Street Fighter. We all love Super Smash Brothers. As much as they're going to talk about like, oh man, I hate that they do this. Whenever they release another fighting game, we eat that up. Like MK, I get so tired of some of the stuff they do. Like I get tired of, you know, there's all these other different stuff, but at the end of the day, I eat it up every single time.
Mm.
And we're all going to be wanting to keep going and playing these games at the end of the day.
No, I agree, and honestly, if we could go from something that's you were talking about sustainability, a company that's been going for decades doing this stuff, I would say the right way in terms of community building. Let's talk a little bit about SNK and that City of the Wolves
Oh,
beta
yeah.
because
Oh,
they have been doing incredibly well with that. There were obviously some issues with the beta, and there are rumors that there's another one coming out. But either way, the one takeaway that I had, BG, and I'm sure that you would agree with me, this game is damn fun to play.
Amen. Yeah. This game is incredible. I don't know if I've had more fun playing a beta, and that includes even Street Fighter 6 beta, which I had a lot of fun playing. It felt heavy in a good way. I don't remember a game since the 90s that had so many great defensive mechanics. The graphics were incredible, 10 out of 10. Gameplay was phenomenal. I mean, the character selection, the diversity of moves. I just really enjoyed it. I played hours on hours of Preacher. That's the character I like the most.
I experimented with
Hotaru, I liked her surprisingly. I did play a little bit of Vox Reaper. He was cool. A little bit spammy, I felt like. I hate Rock, which I'm pretty sure Tiger Tosser loves because he loves characters that are broken.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
I do.
I couldn't stand him. See, told you. Told
Hell
you.
yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you would.
Yeah, Rock was horrible, but yeah, love Terry. I mean, Terry was great, classic Terry. Like I said, everything was great, but the thing that SNK is known for not being good at matchmaking and netcode. I had a ping one time of over 900 player I played. Felt like I was on dial-up underwater. So yeah, I hope that SNK can contact Capcom or slide them some payola for them to get this netcode right and get the matchmaking right. Because I do believe I'll make a prediction. If they get the netcode and they get the matchmaking right, this game will be up there in the EWC with Street Fighter 6.
A ping with
I
900.
absolutely.
You playing on like net zero or something? Like
I
what
don't
were you
know.
doing? Like
They
you,
must have been they must have been at Mark's house because yeah,
this
that person
Oh,
was
whatever,
you
bro.
know
Whatever.
this dude was playing on like Netscape. Like what
yeah,
was going
he
on, bro?
definitely was. He was on a AOL. It was a free disc. Y'all remember the 90s free disc you get for AOL like
Yeah.
600 free hours? Yeah, he was on AOL online or something because it was really bad. But like I said, the game play everything was great.
Dude was playing on Internet Explorer. That's nutty. Tiger Tosser.
Our
No,
next
you
game.
talk to me. No, like I think there were a few comments about Rock Howard being ignorant. So let's hear
Mark
from
Love.
someone.
Yeah.
Let's hear from someone ignorant. Tiger Tosser, go ahead, defend yourself. You actual degenerate rock man.
Okay, in my defense, I played Rock Howard in Mark of the Wolves, and he's actual dog booty in that game. And then
Oh.
he's just a cool character. Okay, he's just a character that I just wanted to play. I was gonna play because I'm not one of these people that plays the beta for like 10, 15 hours in one session, tries to know all the stuff, and then I'm gonna play something. I played it for like 2 to 3 hours, and I was like, oh, okay. I played Rock Howard and and Mark of the Wolves, and then I played him KOF 15, and then I was like, okay, let me just do this thing. It's fun. I like the game. It's really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I did fight like a couple people. I will say though, like the game is great, but the online was definitely the most frustrating part, and I did feel like I was losing sanity at the end of it because I fought like 3 to 4 people that looked like they were like the last boss of Bushido Blade 2. Like they were just teleporting. They were teleporting all around, and it was like very, very frustrating whenever you just see like when I'm about to like do something and then they just go they just poop out a super, or it was I'm not gonna say it's like 360 or PS3 like levels of bad or anything like that. But yeah, some people, man, they gotta upgrade their stuff, man. They gotta either people gotta fix this stuff. SDK's gotta fix it, man. But yeah, it was the online was definitely a little bit of a the game is a really is like a 9 out of 10 to me, but the online was a little harsh. But and I also played Samurai Showdown 2019 a lot online, and that game has some bad online too. But I bared it a little bit better in that game than what I was dealing with Mark of the Wolves or sorry, City of the Wolves. And City of the Wolves has a better netcode, but yeah, that's my takeaway. But
Yeah.
it could get fixed. It could get fixed.
Absolutely, but also okay, so we had a Net Zero reference and also a reference to Bushido Blade 2. Clearly, we are showing our age. Smitty, I'm sure that you'll contribute to this somehow. But no, I can't imagine that the internet was any better for you out in Kentucky. But at the same time, like it's a fun game, dude. I can't even
Yeah,
front. Like I'm so looking forward to this.
I
same.
don't. I gotta look back on. I recorded my beta stuff, but I don't think I had any real internet issues that I
Oh
can
wow,
remember.
we
I
gotta
was
move
just
it
kind of,
touchy.
and this is outside of Samurai Showdown. This was my first beta of an SNK game. So it was fun. Of course, I played mine because that was the easiest transition for me, and learning for me it was more learning the game. I didn't know it was like a 4 button game type situation. So
Yeah,
that was interesting. And then for me it was
That's yeah, no,
more
it's a Fatal Fury game, dog.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
yep,
and I remember playing them as when I was younger, but I haven't played it in years. This will be the first one I've played in forever,
Yeah, fair enough.
over
it,
20
it
years.
I had a good time in the beta. I was worried because doesn't it come out in like 2 months?
But
And I was
yeah,
like, all right, if the issues I seen online, I was like, can you correct these in 2 months? I don't know,
yep,
but if you're able to, you have a decent game that people are looking to. People are looking for the next fighting game. I think this will be a good game to come out for, like you said, BG. It will be one of the I feel like higher entry games, especially overseas where the SNK games are pretty big. I feel like Shanghai is going to dominate it. I just
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's an easy
yeah,
assumption to make, right? Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like,
yeah.
why he's
Just
one of
give him
my
a
favorite
check.
players.
Don't waste our
Yeah.
time.
He makes me watch King of Fighters because I just want to see because he's so good. I'm like, let me see how good he is. And so, that's taking it back to Capcom Cup
Mm.
when he played Mai in one of his matches in group. I was like, this guy's he's amazing with the SNK characters. Had a good time in the beta. I'm gonna wait till the game comes out and see how it does. I can see myself watching a couple of tournaments, and if I get the game, I could see me trying to enter it. I always need a second game to play.
It's not hard envisioning this game being a success at all because it
No.
is so fun, especially when you talk about face-to-face tournaments. This game is going to absolutely pop off. I can see it being very successful certainly within the first year of launch, but also even going beyond that because of its sheer replayability. I remember it. I mean, even it stayed at Evo BG. It was one of the it was probably the longest line for any of the games
Oh yeah.
that were being played, and that included, I mean, games that were out already. Obviously, MK1. That was when they were looking at stuff for Tekken 8, and it was a really solid product all around, even in that state. And now, as we come towards release, obviously you need to work out the kinks with online, but the rumors that that's going to happen, is definitely heartening. But it seems to speak to the fact that SNK truly has always cared about the community. I mean, especially at the local level, more so than I think most every other developer in the FGC.
Yeah, absolutely. They've really done a good job supporting locals, and I think that they are going to do whatever it takes to fix it. I really do. The matchmaking, and this is their gym. This is their quote unquote Street Fighter type game, and I think that they have to, with the Esports World Cup now supporting this game, they have to do everything they can to make the matchmaking and netcode right. Because if they do, they have a monster on their hand. They really, really do. Because there's so many young people who don't know about Fatal Fury. Remember, we're all old heads,
Yep.
now, and
Yes.
there's a lot of people
Yes.
who are better. I'm sorry, Smitty. Yeah, and it's just one of those things where we have to understand that those people, if they love this game, they're going to take it to a whole new generation, and that's just more revenue for SNK.
We're definitely going to need to have a conversation with my boy Colt about this. But yeah, for sure, we're all looking forward to City of the Wolves and maybe a few things down the pipe from us at Combat Championship Series. You never know. Are we, Smitty? You had something? Did you have something to close that out, or otherwise I was just going to go to?
No, I was gonna say I didn't. He said we're old heads, and I didn't feel old until Tiger Tosser said um, he was playing Street Fighter 4 in high school. I was like, I was married with kids. Then,
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh,
oh,
I'm
I'm old.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
like, dang,
sorry, bud.
how old am
Oh
I?
man! Oh man!
Damn.
Oh boy!
Damn.
Oh boy! Yeah.
I was like, man, I am old
I
out
don't even know
here.
what to tell you there, boss. I think it's best that we just go to our quick hits. You know what? 1 minute or less, we're going into the final stretch. Here is our parting shots. I'm going to get things started off. I'm going to talk a little bit about Winter Showdown, the first leg of the Heartland TKO circuit, popping off at the Akihabara Arcade, over in Westminster, Colorado. Buttons on Wake Up, Mile High Burst did a great job, and we saw the winners out in that circuit. Don Bingo for Street Fighter 6, that Zangief going to put in some major work in the Heartland TKO circuit, as he did at King of the Sticks. Of course, the Oklahoma native entering into Super Bit War is going to be hype there. But the Invading Force Trojan, the horse, galloping into Super Bit Wars as Winter Showdown champion, invading Colorado and taking it home. I do think that Trojan is going to be the dominant force on the Heartland TKO circuit, but certainly Texas and other regions have challengers that are going to challenge. But nonetheless, very excited for the Heartland TKO circuit. Cannot wait for the next leg at Super Bit Wars in Oklahoma City. That's going down on the first weekend of May. But we've got some other things cooking up ahead of time as well. But I will leave it on that. BG, give us your parting shot.
Thank you, Stu. Yes, I would like to give a parting shot to the one and only Big Bird out there. Big Bird, I want to apologize on behalf of Smitty Lemma. He has picked you the last 4 to 5 years to win a Capcom Cup or to be at the top of Capcom Cup, and you have not even got out of groups. I'm going to do all my best now the next whole year to make sure that Smitty does not pick you. On the episode 35, he said, yeah, he's going to make it out, all of this. And it is not your fault, Big Bird. It is not your fault that Smitty keeps doing this. This is his curse. He's done this to many people. And now I'm going to have to put it out there. If I ever see you, Smitty, Eva, hey, if you somehow are in Texas, come to Saturday Central and start combat. I'm sorry for you, but yeah, we have to stop this. A combat report is going to stop this terror that is Smitty's curse. Sorry, Big Bird. So yeah, with that being said, 2025, we're going to stop Smitty. Thank you.
Let me make sure that Smitty never gives me his endorsement. But Smitty, give us your parting shot instead.
My parting shots is gonna go back to something I said in the last episode about Fatal Fury and the beta. The jiggle physics was there. I just want you guys to know. and I was like, they really did their thing with this too. That's full circle. It's full circle. Come on way back. You gotta watch the last episode to understand this.
I'm not even going to talk about what you were referring to when you said those two, but
Oh,
either way,
man.
Tiger Tosser, we're going to party shot. What you got for us, boss man?
Everybody needs to stop expecting announcements at Capcom Cups going forward now. That's it. Everyone's like, we're gonna get some balance changes announced, and then we're gonna see Elena. We're gonna see,
Nah.
we're gonna see
That
the
comes
second
in. We've done
coming
enough.
of, we're just gonna, it's gonna be nuts, and it's just nope.
No,
That's it.
nothing.
It's
We gave away $1 million.
That's it. Just $1 million.
Yeah. What
then,
more
hey,
did you want?
I'm excited that they're doing another round of like $1 million next year.
2 million.
2 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, 2 million for everybody.
Yeah.
They're making that
Hey,
money.
Happy with it.
Yeah, you know what? You get it. You get out what you put in. So we'll have to see how Capcom Cup 12 unfolds. But that is going to do it for the 36th edition of the Combat Report here on Combat Championship Series. We thank you for joining us. And for Tiger Tosser, BG, Smitty, I'm Stu the announcer. No matter your battles, touch gloves and come out fighting.